morning there, sweet peas. Basic Prepper Mom Myra. Now, I know it's been a hot minute since I've been on here, but we have had so much going on. So we moved my mom out of state, so that was 4 or 5 days that we were dealing with all of that and getting her situated and settled. And then we had the holidays, and then we had, my family ended up getting sick. No, it wasn't the C thing, but just a really bad cold. I ended up with a sinus infection, so, you know, it's been kind of crazy around my house. There's other stuff going on, but there's also a lot of craziness in the world right now, right? And in our world and literally the world right now, there's so much stuff going on. And I've had friends say, man, what do we do? What do we do? You know, the whole election thing and the House and the Senate and taking over and different, you know, changing of the guard kind of thing, and the railroad strike and supply chain issues and rising costs. And then you've got, you know, China, and it's up, which I'm just going to put this is my opinion on here. I try not to get very political on here, but this is my opinion. I think the thing in China is, I think it's being, I don't want to say staged, and I don't want to say over dramatized, but maybe that's a decent word. I think that it definitely is, I don't think things are what they seem. Let's just put it that way. I don't think things are what they seem. Okay? And I think that we're being shown what they want us to see. You know, the whole quarantine camps. And I think the video that kind of put me over of, you know what, I'm not really sure about this. There was a video, and I don't know if you guys have seen it or not. I honestly don't even know where I came across it, how I even saw it. But there's a video of a person in a little pod, enclosed pod with wheels, and there's 4 people in hazmat suits pushing him down like it looked like maybe an airport tarmac kind of thing, or just airport hall. And I was like, and he's just sitting in the little pod on his phone. And I thought, there's just something not right about this. And apparently the caption was, or the talk was, is that he was being taken to a quarantine camp because he was sick. Just not sure I buy all of this, but regardless, there is stuff that's going on over there. You've got the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab, who wants to really push this whole digital currency thing. You've got world leaders jumping on that bandwagon. You've got the U.S. saying, hey, you know, maybe we'll do a trial run. There's just all of this stuff going on. And friends have come to me and said, hey, what is your take on it? What do we do now? Like, where do we go from here? Well, my answer is quite simple. Keep doing what you're doing. Absolutely, 100%. You cannot let things that are going on out there affect things that are going on and that you're doing in here, okay? Keep doing the same thing. You keep stocking up, you keep preparing, you keep doing what you do, you keep training, you keep collecting, you keep whatever you're doing, continue to do it. I don't think that we're going to be in a situation where we're going to see huge shortages as far as shelves are going to be completely bare, and we're going to be in a, you know, and I know a lot of people refer to this, but a Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome kind of situation. I don't think we're going to get there, but what I do think is we're going to see some shortages. We're going to see some empty shelves of certain products, certain items at certain times. What I do think is going to happen is that the prices are going to really, really start to skyrocket. I mean, we know that they're already going up. We know that there's inflation. That's okay. But I really do think that they are going to go up so much that it's going to be even more difficult for families to afford things. We also have, you know, the talk of possible job losses. Amazon's laid off a whole bunch of people. You know, Elon Musk fired a whole bunch of people from Twitter, but that's a whole different situation. But there are other large companies that are laying off a lot of workers. Now, here in the county that I'm at, my local county, we had one of the biggest employers in our county just lay off. And I don't know the exact numbers. I've heard anywhere between 1,400 and 4,000 people. And that's huge. But they ended up losing a big government contract. Had to lay off a ton of people. So, right before the holidays, and stuff like that is really, really, really rough, especially with the economy, the market the way it is, the housing market especially. It's going to be more and more difficult for people to survive. So I do think that food prices are going to really, really, really skyrocket. So and this is just what I'm preparing for right now. Sorry, I could feel like a little frog coming on, and I was like, I'm just going to take a sip right now to avoid that. But what we can do, what I'm doing, this is just my personal opinion, this is what I'm doing as a family, is just continuing to stock up on food and medication. Every time I'm at the store, I'll buy an extra something, whether it's an extra few cans of food, whether it's extra food to put in the freezer, whether it's a few extra packages of medication, whatever it is. I always try to buy extra when I'm at the store and put that in my stores. I've also been able to start running my freeze dryer again. I do have a freeze dryer. I wasn't able to really do a whole lot with it because it was so hot, and it just heats up our house. It's inside our house, and I couldn't keep it cool enough, and it was just, but now that it's actually colder, it's actually easier to run because it kind of helps heat the house up. So, that's less fire we have to put on the fireplace. And it does tend to run better and easier and run faster. So for me, it's about going through our freezer and cooking up the meat and freeze drying it and putting it in packages and putting it out in storage to put away for a rainy day. For me, that is I think the biggest security is to know that I have enough food for my family. Do I think that I have enough to stock up and store up for a year? No, I don't think we're there. We're probably pretty close, to be honest, but we are definitely not there, especially for a family of 5. If it was just my husband and I, we would probably have enough food for a year and a half, maybe 2 years. But there's 5 of us. Well, if you count my mom, I still actually take her food whenever we go over there because it's about 3.5 hours one-way trip. So it is doable to go over for the weekend. So I try to stock her up on food as well. So for a family of 6, what I have in stores probably is not enough it's probably about 6 to 8 months worth is what I'm guessing I have right now. And for me, that's not enough. That is absolutely not. I will say, for some things, 6 to 8 months. For other things, I probably only have about maybe 3 to 4 months of food stores. So to me, that's a little disconcerting. Medication wise, if we're all taking medication at the same time, I probably have enough to get us through this winter, and that's it. So, and that's with all of us taking medication at the same time for, cold, flu, whatever's going around. So I'm definitely not where I think I need to be or where I want to be, where it's my comfort level. But the point is, no matter what's going on out there, no matter how crazy it gets out there, continue to do what you're doing. That should not change what you do. If you have to cut back on name brands and go generic, if you have to cut back on other things in your life, if you have to cut back on, going out to eat, entertainment, going to the movies, buying extra, fancy clothes, whatever the situation, whatever you have to cut back in, I would say do that now. I just listened to one of my, I don't want to say mentors because that just kind of sounds a little stalkerish, but one of the gals who I absolutely adore, Mama Bear Prepping, she's absolutely wonderful. And she talked about cutting back on your subscriptions on your apps or your TV, stuff. And I am actually getting ready to do that because, to be honest, we have DirecTV. We pay for Amazon Prime Video. I pay for Disney Plus, Netflix, Paramount. There's one other one. Oh, my daughter has Hulu. She pays for that one. I don't. But we've got these so many streaming services that we don't even use. I haven't been on Disney Plus or Netflix in probably 5 or 6 months at least. My kids every now and then watch it, but is it worth it paying an extra $30 a month for all of us to have those two streaming devices? Probably not, because that $30 a month to me could buy a lot right now, can buy canned goods, can buy medication, can buy, you know, whatever. So we're actually, I'm going to cut back on apps and cut back on our services and what we get and what we look into. Our luxury items is what I call them. So anyway, that's what I have to say. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful, amazing day. I want to encourage you to just continue to do what you're doing. Continue to do what you do for you and your family and your community. Continue to build those communities too, because it still doesn't matter what's going on out there. You still can build your communities. You can still help each other. You can still find that common goal. All right. Once again, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out. I hope you guys have a wonderful, amazing day. I'm going to run inside the office and try not to get drenched in the process, but I hope you guys have a wonderful, amazing day. Take care.